Dodge and his companions had just salvaged a red mechanical monster from the sea, leaving everyone amazed. Curious, Dodge took out a small knife and cut into the creature's head, discovering a secret. Suddenly, a skeletal machine creature sprang out, nearly shocking him into dropping his knife. Just days earlier, Dodge was a simple fisherman. While out fishing, they encountered a storm and came across a powerless research ship. The captain shouted to the ship but received no response, so he ordered the sailors to arm themselves and investigate. To their surprise, there were no signs of life. Bullet holes on the hull suggested the ship had been attacked by pirates. Inside the control room, they found bloodstains and chaos. However, the ship's log was in Russian and the electrical system was destroyed, leaving the radio inoperable. Despite the eerie scene, everyone grew excited. Under maritime law, towing a distressed ship back to port would earn them a large compensation, enough to live comfortably for years. But there was a catch. To receive the reward, the ship must be devoid of any survivors. Determined to secure their fortune, the captain split the crew into two groups, one to search the ship and ensure no survivors, and another to repair the electrical system so they could sail the ship back. Their fishing boat was too small to make the return journey alone. In the engine room, two sailors discovered the power loss was caused by someone removing the relays. By reinserting them, power was easily restored, but as soon as the relay was reinserted, a loud explosion occurred in a corner of the ship. They dismissed it as a side effect of the long power outage. Then an unexpected disaster struck. The ship's massive iron anchor suddenly slipped and smashed through their fishing boat. One sailor named Indian fell into the water but escaped with just a cut on his thigh, thanks to Jack's quick intervention. Speculation began that the ship might be under covert control. To avoid further incidents, the captain sent his assistant to investigate. Armed with guns and rifles, the crew readied themselves, their sense of security boosted. They proceeded into the next compartment and were shocked to find the missile laboratory in chaos, with torn wires and broken items scattered across the floor. Fresh blood near the engine room exit heightened their anxiety. Dodge and his companion pressed on, noticing signs of a fierce battle, likely aimed at controlling the power. As they reached the corridor's end, a wire suddenly rose from the ground, a red camera attached. Dodge smashed it, only to realize it was a controlled machine monster. Moving deeper, they uncovered a secret. The engine room had been transformed into a workshop for manufacturing machine monsters. Dodge decided it was best to leave and pulled a switch, plunging the area into darkness. But just as they were about to exit, the power returned, restarting all manufacturing processes. Dodge examined the operation closely and found the mechanical monsters were being assembled in a systematic and clever way. He prodded one of the machines with his gun, which enraged the creature, forcing Dodge to open fire. Suddenly, a dark figure appeared and began shooting at them. Dodge and his companion took cover. Meanwhile, the captain and others located medical supplies for Indian's injuries in the infirmary. A mysterious individual rushed in, panicked, but fortunately their bullets missed. Jack knocked out the assailant, revealing a blonde woman named Jenny. Upon waking, Jenny frantically urged them to put out the fire and muttered about aliens. Initially, no one took her seriously. At that moment, Dodge and his group returned with a robot, stunning everyone. The figure before them resembled a human, but its interior was entirely mechanical. Now they believed Jenny's claims. The research ship had been invaded by entities that were not physical or biological, but resembled computer programs. These invaders used any available materials to create biological weapons, targeting humans. Over 300 crew members had perished, leaving only Jenny alive. After hearing her story, the group reflected on the terrifying events when suddenly a hurricane struck, violently shaking the ship. Their attempts to regain control proved futile, and they were forced to head to the engine room for manual control. However, upon arrival, they realized something eerie. The ship was steering itself. What they witnessed was astonishing. In under an hour, the engine room door had been welded shut. Through the glass window, they saw Hick inside, controlling the machinery. Soon, Hick noticed them and broke open the door, speaking with newfound confidence. To their horror, they realized Hick had been transformed into a biomechanical weapon, with half his face replaced by a mechanical camera. As this sunk in, a spider-like robot appeared behind him, effortlessly ripping through steel plates over 10 centimeters thick as if they were nothing. The injured team members were in shock, and the group quickly retreated to the cabin. Not long after, the cabin door was violently smashed in. Dodge, thinking fast, decided to negotiate with the enemies using the computer. However, they soon realized the grim truth. The aliens saw humans as mere bacteria or viruses harming the environment. To the aliens, it wasn't about diplomacy, it was a matter of survival. Either humans or the aliens had to perish. At that moment, the mechanical creature burst through the door. Dodge emptied his magazine and used a rocket launcher to blast through the cabin wall, leading the group to escape. The captain, however, believed he should be the one issuing orders, but no one listened. They were all focused on finding the ship's main computer. That was their only hope to defeat the alien invaders. Even if cornered, they could still choose to sink the ship, taking the aliens down with them. But when they reached the control room, they were stunned to find it empty. The main host was gone and their plan seemed doomed. Turning back, they saw the exit had already been blocked, and the strange machines were closing in. Their current weapons couldn't hold back the assault, and the final hatch was being welded shut. A few of them managed to escape via the ladder. The deck was treacherously slippery, and Indiana was swept away by the waves. The survivors finally made it to the top antenna control room. After some discussion, they pieced together the aliens' plan. There was a nearby satellite intelligence station. The aliens intended to take it over and spread their reach through the network, aiming for global destruction. Determined to stop the aliens' conspiracy, they braced themselves for a final battle. But before they could act, the captain reappeared, now supported by machines. It turned out that after the group left him, the captain had discovered the robot production workshop. Striking a deal with the aliens, he sacrificed his body, accepting their data and being transformed into a mechanical monster. Fortunately for the group, the captain's new body was weak, hastily assembled without strong armor. Under the group's concentrated fire, he was blown up by a grenade. The team soon reached the equipment room. Jack planted a time bomb on the pipeline, ready to sink the ship. However, just as they located the life jackets, the mechanical spider burst in. With a few powerful swings, it destroyed the steel pipes, and the impact left Jack and Jenny unconscious. Nita was knocked off the deck, but luckily the water below saved him from a deadly fall. However, the robot soon captured him, took him back to its territory, and hung him upside down. It used high-voltage electricity to try and force out the location of the time bomb, but Nita refused to give in. At this critical moment, Dodge appeared using a rocket to knock down the machine monster. Despite this, the monster launched another attack, showing its formidable strength. The force of the attack caused the cabin to collapse. Jenny, in a brave attempt to protect Nita, stepped forward but was caught by the robot. Fearless, she raised her pistol and detonated the flammable liquid canisters, causing both herself and the machine to vanish in the flames. Meanwhile, Jack regained consciousness. Dodge, unfortunately, had been fatally injured by shrapnel. In his final moments, Dodge urged Jack to go to the missile compartment where a treasure awaited them. After saying this, Dodge passed away. Jack found Nita, and together they rushed to the missile compartment. There they discovered the treasure Dodge had mentioned, a torpedo compartment with a rocket thruster, a way to escape. Just then, the machine monster broke through the wall, relentlessly pursuing them. In a desperate moment, they launched the torpedo compartment, carrying them to safety. The fuse attached to the compartment triggered a massive explosion, obliterating the vessel and the aliens in a sea of flames. After the storm settled, they were rescued by an aircraft, signaling the end of the ordeal. However, as they spotted someone on a float, Nita realized it was the missing Native American. As she approached to wake him, he suddenly grabbed her wrist. His face was a bloody mess, and with that, the film concludes.